You know those people who, no matter what is going on in their life, they always have an excuse. The people that constantly are seeking advice, but when you give it to them, all they give you is excuses. They're suffering from something that you probably heard of before. It's called, you probably heard of it before. And listen, before you start to get too upset with me, look, you know these people and stop pretending like you don't. It's just me and you here, okay? It's the friends and family, the people that, again, come to you with a problem, you give them a solution, they want to give you an excuse back. The excuses are usually a lack of something. I don't have time, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, and they say this line a whole bunch. It must be nice. This line, single-handedly, is probably the most annoying term that you could ever hear in your life, but yet, these people do exist. Okay, well, like you, I could not stand these people until I realized I was one of them. You see, recently I was talking to a mentor of mine, my mentor, Evan Carmichael, this guy right here, and him and I were having a conversation about what I'm doing with my business. And like a good mentor, he listened to me talk and rant about what I was releasing, and I was going to release this low ticket program I had done before. I realized that the people that I was working with the last time I launched this, I didn't really love. They had a lot of excuses, they didn't take action, and so I wanted to change things up. And so I was kind of asking him, hey, how can I make this happen? I thought what he was going to tell me was ways that I could pre-qualify some of these clients, and that's not what he did. He said the 10x my prices. And immediately, I don't know what happened, but legitimate wave of excuses just came tumbling out of me. Well, I don't know if I can 10x my prices because nobody will buy. I don't have the resources to be able to pull that off, and they're going to expect more, and they're going to want this, and I don't even know where to find the people that will want to pay 10x my prices. And just excuse after excuse kind of happened. And then it kind of dawned on me, I have a scarcity mindset. Now, thankfully, because he's an outstanding mentor, he gave me some advice that helped clear this up a little bit. He said, look, something that I realized was that if somebody pays me $500 as a client, I can give them the same exact advice as someone that pays me $5,000. But here's the major difference. The person that pays me $500 is probably not going to execute. They're going to probably nickel and dime me on what we're doing. And honestly, they're just not going to follow through, which means they're not going to get the outcome that they want. And they're going to think that I'm a bad coach. The $5,000 client, though, is going to listen to half of what I have to say, go execute immediately, have outstanding results, and think I am the greatest coach of all time. It's not about the price as much as who is paying it and the type of mindset that they have. And what they have is abundant mindset. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I still was struggling a little bit with the concept of 10x in my prices, but to be fair, I realized that maybe it's not, the root cause is probably not the scarcity mindset itself. It's probably just a lack of belief of what it stems from. And it made me kind of reevaluate my entire life, honestly, about how I think about things, and most importantly, maybe how well scarcity mindset's been impacting me. All right, quick little change. So we get a workout in because we're still trying to do 75 hard, which I did what anybody else would do. I decided to Google what scarcity mindset is, as well as what abundant mindset is, so I can understand a little bit better how this was impacting me and how ultimately this is holding me back on what I really wanted to do. So a scarcity mindset, again, according to Google's AI, is a way of thinking that resources, opportunities, and success are limited and hard to come by. Hence the reason why when people say things like, it must be nice, that really just comes from a place of like, well, I guess since you have more views on YouTube, that means I can't get it. Or because you're successful in business, doesn't mean that I can too. Because you have the ability to work out at night, I don't have that time, so must be nice. It's just a way to make us feel better about our own scarcity mindset. On the flip side of that, you have abundant mindset. Once again, according to Google's AI, abundant mindset is the flip of that, right? It's that there's plenty of time, money, resources, and on the flip side of that, abundant mindset, it's all about the belief that there's plenty to go around. There's more time, opportunities, resources, whatever the heck, right? There's plenty to go around. And when you think that there's plenty to go around, there's major benefits to it. One of which is the obvious, that because you know there's plenty to go around, you don't compete anymore. Because you don't compete, you have a little bit more creativity in how you go about things, and you don't compare yourself to others. There's so many benefits to an abundant mindset.
So why don't more people think like this? And I remember a while ago, I had a mentor of mine who said that abundant mindset versus scarcity mindset is really just comes down to a choice. People are choosing to actually have a scarcity mindset, and I couldn't understand this. Truth is, it made zero sense to me. There's very little benefit, I thought, to a scarcity mindset, so why would anybody choose that? And what he said back to me was, it's all about choice. Oh, I'm sorry, it's all about choice, but it's also all about that it serves them, right? Which one serves them more and which one do they choose? And again, I didn't really completely understand this, but hear me out. So when you have a scarcity mindset, this belief that there's not enough time, money, and resources, you have an out. So it serves you because it makes you feel a little bit better. Like, it's not your fault that you don't have the time, money, resources, you don't know the right network of people, you don't know this, you don't know that, so you have it out. So it's okay you don't get what you want, it's not your fault. It's a victimhood kind of mentality. Now, on the flip side, like I mentioned earlier, obviously there's plenty of benefits to having an abundant mindset, but it's a matter of what serves you more, and depending on where you're at in life, you eventually choose one path or the other. Now, for me, in my life right now, having an abundant mindset makes way more sense. Like, I'd rather have the ownership over my life and have all the outcomes, which again, with abundant mindset is plenty. So the question remains, what am I gonna do about it? Well, I took the advice. I decided I'm gonna 10x my prices. And here's what happened. This little experiment of what would happen if I raised my prices allowed me to realize that the clients I was getting before weren't the ones that I actually wanted anyway. And then it started giving me this experiment of, okay, well, if I did 10x my prices, who would be the ones to be able to pay for that? And as luck would have it, the people who would want to pay for that service, 10x the price, would be my actual ideal client. And I don't just mean the ideal client that I put on paper. It's people I've worked with before and they were delightful. They didn't complain. They did their part so that they can get a better outcome. Overall, it was just a way better experience. Now comes the fun question. Fun question is, who do I get to become to bring value to others so I can ask for a 10x price increase? So what's really funny about the idea of who do I get to become is it's never really a complete change of who we are, right? I've done this before, and what I kind of found was it was just minor switches in the way that I spoke maybe, or the way that I thought about problems, because the higher price you go up, the higher caliber of client, arguably the more complex problems, or problems that are really, really big, that if you solve them, have really big outcomes for them, and they're really gonna be excited about solving them. So it's never really a complete mind shift. It's not like I have to change my entire identity to warrant the 10x. It's just a good fun experiment to think about, okay, what do I need to get better at? And honestly, it just came back to systems. Like, for me, I started thinking about, for my business anyway, I need to have a way better system on the client fulfillment side, right? A better way of tracking, so that way there's gonna be more people involved probably in these projects, which means I need a way better system of the communication that goes out, all of this. So all these little details that started kind of coming together, so then I could start pre-planning. So when I do increase my price, I do change the offer slightly to fit these bigger clients, I already know exactly what I need to work on. Now, again, if you don't ask yourself this question, which you don't have to, but if you don't, I think you miss out on all the opportunity, all the little things. And I think the other part of this too is like, let's take away the business side, right? Because you can ask yourself, how could I 10x? Not your prices, but 10x my relationships, 10x my network, or whatever the circumstances for you. You still have to ask yourself the same question. How do I need to change? Because arguably, if you need to 10x your network, or you need to 10x your inner circle, or whatever that is, you do have to change a little bit, because you're kind of part of the problem. If you want to 10x the views that you get on YouTube, well, kind of probably should stop doing what you've been doing, because what you've been doing isn't really working. So there is a bit of a mind shift that you have to have in order to do it. Now, not gonna lie, as I've gotten older, total tangent, but I have to like warm up way more than I used to. I remember back in the day in high school, you just throw big weight on the bar, throw it up, pick up weights, put them down, no problems. I work out a little bit of weight, my whole body hurts for like a week. All right, last little bit, and then I'm gonna let you guys go so I can finish this workout. So funny enough, after this whole conversation happened, I realized once again that I had a bit of a scarcity mindset. And there was this one client, this one potential client, I should say, that I knew about, that been wanting to reach out to solve this problem that I know they have in their business. And I knew this would be a multiple 6 or even possibly 7-figure contract for my business. And for as long as I knew the person, I knew this was the offer, I knew this is what I wanted to talk to him about it, but that scarcity mindset kept me from doing it because I kept thinking, well, if it doesn't work out, I now just burned that one lead that I have that could fit this, and I don't know what I'd go from there. It's that scarcity mindset. So then I flipped it to go, well, if this one doesn't work out, there's plenty of other people I could reach out to solve this 7-figure problem that I'm looking to solve. And as luck would have it, not only did the conversation go really, really well, and no, they're not gonna move forward with a 7-figure contract that I was talking about, but we are going to meet for dinner so he can help me craft the offer a little bit better, improve how I talked about it, so that way in the future I could end up turning around and actually doing it with him. So the point, if I would have kept that scarcity mindset, I wouldn't have made that call, and I wouldn't have got all the feedback that I got, which is gonna result in a way better chance of not only working with that client, but also plenty of others in the past. So if you have this thought pattern that you are the only one on earth that doesn't have a scarcity mindset, but everyone else around you does, it may be time to reevaluate that. At least for me, I realize that I definitely still struggle with it. But I wanna hear from you. I talk a lot about business, I know, but I wanna hear from you is how, one, could you 10X in your life, but also where in your life, what aspects of your life do you find that maybe you still have a little bit of a scarcity mindset that you could benefit from having that little bit of a mental switch? I want to hear from you. Go in the comments, let me know, and I will catch you in the next video.